What's up, guys? This is day 3 of the Golf Grand Prix. We are at Abu Dhabi still. And hole 6 here, going to be coming at you. Same club bag as yesterday, so you'll see the same clubs in your bag. So, creating a little bit of more familiarity with the club sets, just to get guys hopefully getting a little bit more into a pattern, a little bit into a routine. And we're just going to blast this down, try to keep it into the fairway. You want to be careful about your great balls right, great balls left, stuff like that. So try to keep that stuff to a minimum. And let's see what we're looking at here. Ooh, maybe a little in between. So keeping that in mind, you guys might want to be just a little bit cautious with your initial drive. Maybe take off a little bit of topspin. Try to keep it right in that range just a little bit better. As you can see, I'm right towards the bottom of this club. I'm going to make my adjustment just a little bit more interesting, to say the least. So we're going to be down here. It is saying that I get to go less rings. That's good. But you can also see that I'm maybe about 2 rings from the pin. And let's see what we can do. 2 rings from the pin. And 1.60. You can see that needle is kind of flaring. We got to keep our adjustment. You have to keep our adjustment a little bit on the light side here. See how this rolls out. 2 rings isn't even enough, so it's a little bit more than 2 rings. But you can see my alignment right over the hole, so right over the left edge. I could just get that to land just a little bit shorter. And this is where it'll be maybe just a little bit easier for you guys. If you just lay up just a couple more yards than I did, you'll have a little bit more span there for you to be able to get that drop. You can see the 1.6 towards min club there. Real good opportunity for you guys to get that one. And this looks a little bit tricky, a little bit long. You know, maybe a time there you think about club power pin, something like that. Make sure when you do use these that you stay in the fairway. That's going to be the first and foremost. You want to be just a little bit cautious, trying to get that ultimate shot. Maybe just a tad bit early there on my timing, but should be close enough that it still registers ultimate. Otherwise, you will find yourself in the rough on this tight little course. A little bit of extra power going to give us a good opportunity to get to this one just a little bit easier. But we might be playing for 999s on this with this setup. Let's take a look. 3.5. Saying about 5 rings. I'm just going to kind of eyeball 5 rings. And just blast it. So on top of a power pin, you could probably use a top spin pin. Maybe even driver wood. But if you do go driver wood, you're going to have to know that your wood is going to have an accuracy increase. But being able to get up on that green is going to make this one that much easier to get this eagle. As you can see, I'm a little bit out of the range. So anybody that you see not with a 999, maybe they use a driver wood pin because it's a little bit farther than this power pin. And feel free to practice with whatever pin that you want. You will be able to equip it without having it pull from your inventory. I'm just going to get this alignment kind of online. Hopefully I can run this into the pin. And there you can see, even with the limited guide, you just kind of put it towards the hole. We just run that up in. However, we should be able to get above 999 tiebreaker. That wind is set up for a tailwind. Gives you a good opportunity to get there. Biggest thing that you're going to need is come prepared with the right pin situation. Should give you a good opportunity to, so if you see high tiebreaker scores, that's going to be the first place you want to look for increasing your tiebreaker. So we are going to keep rolling through here. Not sure where we'll be distance-wise on this one. So maybe about 2 rings. Looks like it's bouncing just a little bit to the right. To the left, I mean, so I'm countering with right. I'm going to keep this. Maybe this is even a little bit heavy here. So maybe like 1.8 rings from the pin, give or take. This ball guide should collapse down a little bit. 1.8 from the pin. So we're going to go a little bit more towards min. Maybe about a ring from min. And this is saying right around 2 rings, just a tad bit more. So just more than 2 rings. So let's try it right here. And again, tiebreaker going to be so important on these because it's going to be so difficult to make things. You can see just a little bit off on that wind angle. So with that jitter, with that jittery needle, it's going to be much tougher to make things. You're going to have to just keep it as tight as possible. So they've set it up to a way where being as precise with your adjustments is going to lead to the highest tiebreaker scores. And you will find more times than not, you'll want a high tiebreaker in order to move through to that next round. Another par 5 here. Straight tailwind. And I tried on the first one. Only a power pin. So on this one, why don't we just try a driver wood? What that's going to do, give me a little bit of extra top. Give me a little... Now, the only thing this is going to do is change my accuracy as well because it's an all stat. So this is an all stat. So you just have to know what your change is. And I have never documented mine, but that's what I would recommend for you guys is just kind of document what am I doing percentage-wise? How much extra percent am I going? And I think it's, it's always dramatic. It's like an extra 30%, give or take. It's a very large increase into how many rings you have to play. With this limited guide, we're going to just land here, maybe with just a tad of curl. 3.7 is saying 5 some rings. And like I mentioned, it's going to be well beyond 5. It's probably going to be way more in this range. 6.5, 7 rings. It's going to be substantial overplay that needs to be done when you use this pin. So keep that in mind. I'm just going to go right around 7 here. Maybe we'll come back with a little bit of counter curl here. just to try to keep this ball moving to the right. That wind's going to try to resist it, push it back to the left. Looks all that's pretty good, but I didn't need that curl. So didn't need the curl, but we got a 1700 there. It looks like everything was pretty good. With the limited shot view, you could just see, you know, I just was a little bit off on the correct curl amount, but a good opportunity for you guys to be able to get some nice tiebreaker points there. Try to get 1700 some. Use some practice pins if you have to. That's what they're being awarded for. And, you know, encouraging players in this format and other formats as rewards, getting people more focused on using practice. The only reason I don't use it is because I'm just trying to get through these for you guys, for your benefit, so you guys have the content for your rounds. It's much better to get you guys going, give you strategy, and then you guys can go and kill it on your own. So this was, I think it was towards Min Club, right? Yeah. About 2 for Min here. We're going to keep this. Keep this guy to almost 2 rings for max, maybe just a little bit light. 2 rings for Min, I mean. 1.8 rings. So let's try here. Maybe just a hair light on my adjustment. You know, 1 to 2 tick marks is all it's going to make with something this little accuracy. As you can see, all things considered, we put it in there. We're just going to go no power for this one. Try to focus on keeping it in play, nothing fancy. 3.6. This is 10, 20, 25 for max, maybe even more than that. 27 for max. Just a little bit of counter to straighten out this guide. It looks like it's trying to jump to the left a little bit. 27 for max, give or take. $464. So at 464, just a shade under 5 rings here. And coming in very nice, as you can see, right over the left edge of the cup. So a good chance for a drop on that one for sure. Hopefully you guys are able to get it. Nevertheless, though, you can see on this one, it's going to be about precision, keeping those tiebreakers in there as tight as possible. And the other variable is that par 5 there. That first par 5 going to be a little bit of a bear. Try to maybe driver wood pin. You can even use a ball pin in coalition with it to make sure that you get up onto that putting surface. Changing that 999 into a 1700 is going to be very vital, especially if you're looking to get through to day 4. So best of luck out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another set of guides. Best of luck.